The foot of the Pocono Mountains is a hotbed for tough truck racing and a cornucopia of personalities, with a multitude of families of four-wheel drive making their names known in the stock class. Up next, the tough trucks go door to door in Hughesville. Welcome to the foot of the Pocono Mountains, Hughesville, Pennsylvania, the Lycoming County Fairgrounds, as Mountain Creek Truck Fest presents Unlimited Tuff Truck Racing. You gotta have four-wheel drive to be in this field, as these trucks in the stock class today will be bringing you the modified class later on in another set of coverage here at Back Channel Productions. The stock class today, meaning brand loyalty is all important. Pick your favorites because there's something for everybody in this class. We got a ton of Jeeps, though, of course. Those are a favorite of the tough truck community, Fords, GMC, Chevrolet. But there's a certain green Dodge in this field, one that's always a dominator. We've seen him win a national championship here in the past, and he is with our Tim Howard.
I'm over here with Big Ed, the driver of the green machine. So, Ed, the last time I seen you, this bumper did not look like that, buddy. So we're not going to replay that last race, are we?
No, not at all. That was actually a bad mistake that cost me and hurt my pride. But we're coming out tonight, and we're going to put on a really good show. And we're hoping not to touch no walls and make some nice clean jumps and some nice great turns.
How much modifications and changes did you make over the last, we lost 2020 because of whatever they called it, but any new surprises for everybody with the old green machine?
We've been working on some certain things, but we didn't get everything done for this race. We're hoping for future races to do more. This truck has been a labor of lust, and it seems
lust, not love, lust.
Yeah,
at least
lust.
we got that right. Thank you.
Right. Well, I love to hate it.
Yeah,
and I hate to love it, but
she's a beautiful girl.
Yeah, she's the only Dodge out there on the circuit now that I know of.
Yeah,
and this is a tough truck.
Yeah.
Let's let it go with that.
With a good driver. It's a tough truck with a good driver.
Well, somewhat of a good driver, as long as he minds his P's and Q's. He tries.
Do you actually keep your eyes open when you hit the jumps, or do you close them like I used to?
Well, I do cringe on the landing sometimes. It's like, brace yourself.
Yeah.
We're going to land. And 3-second jumps are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of modifications to the truck so it lands nice and soft and smooth and doesn't hurt my back, because we know how critical that can be.
Yes.
And I don't
3 back surgeries later.
Right. I don't want my wife feeding me oatmeal.
No.
So we wear all the safety gear that you should have. We use, and it's really a lot of fun and a great sport.
I did see a little testing done on Facebook the other day. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, that's my 3-second jump in the backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to get some guys over and do some wheel to wheel, but time got short, and everybody is a far distance away, so it's going. It's ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready.
You know what? Thank you, man. I'll come see you on the podium a little bit later, all right?
Hope so.
Good luck tonight, man.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Well, it's good to see Ed is ready to fly. He will be in our first pairing, but in the middle of that driver's meeting, you see a man in a red shirt. That's Doug Faust. He's ready to go against Ed in that first pairing.
First off, I'm here with Doug Faust. Faust?
Yep.
Freaking happy birthday!
Thank you.
You made another one.
I did.
Man,
It's a miracle.
you're catching up to my old butt. So how we doing, man?
Not too bad. Getting ready to do some racing.
Yeah?
So, yep.
Truck good? You feeling good? What's up?
Best has ever run.
Best has ever run.
Best ever run.
When a Jeep runs good, that's really good, because them Jeeps take it.
I got all the bugs worked out of it the other week down there in Port Royal, so
Okay.
we're going to put on a hell of a show tonight.
All right. I'd like to come visit you at the podium for your birthday, man. I think they should just give you the win.
I would like it. I think
Yeah.
at least give me the prize money.
I gave you your steering wheel back.
Right? Well, that steering wheel's been on like 4 or 5 different trucks, so.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it gets
I hope it fit. Did you make sure it fit this one, though?
Sometimes it pops off once in a while.
that's all right.
I pull a Rachel once in a while.
Yeah. Man, it's so nice to see you again. Happy birthday.
Thank you,
and
bud.
hope to come see you on the podium after the show, man.
I'm hoping to be there.
All right, buddy.
Have a good one, bud.
Thanks.
Well, Doug and Ed will go at it first pairing of round number 1. The Rachel he's referring to is part of a husband and wife team. Husband driving in the mod class. That's Thomas Faust. Rachel Faust drives in the stock class. And as Doug mentioned, she's known for being a little bit wild. And earlier, Tim Howard caught up with the one and only Rachel Faust.
I'm over here with Rachel Faust, the pilot of Party Time, I heard.
Yes.
And then I heard a rumor that you're going to be driving this pretty soon.
Yes, he's getting surgery on Wednesday, so he can't race the rest of the season, so I'll be finishing out his season in a modified.
Oh my God, we're going to got to keep track of the times that you put down so we can show him that you're faster in that truck than him.
I raced this once before in a ladies class, and my time was right around the same as him, and that was my first time in it, so.
So you realize if you put down the same times as him, he's going to have to go buy himself another truck that's better.
Yeah. No, he's gonna, the word is we're building Pretty Penny a modified, but that's to be determined.
Awesome, man. It's so nice to see you guys. I wish you the best of luck tonight. You have 3 runs to make, okay? So let's make all 3.
Yeah.
Let's not go out
I will try my
the
best.
first one, okay?
Right.
Do you want to put a block of wood under the gas pedal to keep you going, to take it off for the 3rd round?
I'll be good.
You'll be good?
Yeah.
I'm holding you to that.
Shiniest side up.
Yep, shiniest side up, rubber down.
Yes.
All right. I'll come see you on the podium later.
Sounds good.
All right, hon.
Well, keep in mind, Tim, this is a double elimination bracket. She's going to be making a lot more than 3 runs if all goes right. We're going to take you back to one May afternoon 2 years ago, and you can see this was when, or that was when, Pretty Penny still had a grill on it. Rachel Faust, right here, watching the cap, loses the steering wheel off of Pretty Penny, still had the presence of mind to stay in the throttle and clear that gap, although she didn't have steering, so she ended up banging into the Ute tires, put the steering wheel back on the steering shaft, and continued the run. Actually managed to lay down a pretty good time in spite of it, finished in the top part of this field, but as you saw there, not afraid to fly over even a school bus. Now she's driving a truck called Party Time because, well, she killed Pretty Penny. She and Thomas have since sold this vehicle, but you heard her. That may return as a modified. It's time for action, though. The fans are cramming in the stands right now, and as I said, first pairing, there you see Doug Powell's Solo Cup lining up against that big green Dodge out of the state of New York, Brant, New York to be exact. That is Ed Dinkoon in mean green. Doug Powst in Solo Cup out of the Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania area, and these two will give us a good indication as to what we're gonna see, and they're both getting some big hang time. It's still a little wet down there, though. We had some rain come in right as they were watering the track, so they're gonna have to burn the mud off the top of this. The weather's supposed to hold out for the rest of the night, but you can see the kind of track they're gonna have to take on, from the dirt to some very slick grass. Ed out in front right now. Powell's trying to gain on him, but he washes out in the rear end, although he stays after it. Ed Dinkoon gonna pick up the first win in round number 1. Nothing away from Doug Powell, though, as he stayed after it the whole way around. One more look at the return run back down the front stretch. Both of them getting some hang time on that run, and as I said, that's just an indication as to what else is coming up here in this first round. We'll show you how the bracket lines up when we come back to Hughesville on the Lycoming County Fairgrounds.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show, ticket info, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by RPM Army, featuring action-packed content from around the web. Visit rpmarmy.com, your source for motorsports on the go.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. For the Silver Lake Sand Dragway, there really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
One run down and a bunch to go. We are back at the Lycoming County Fairgrounds in Hughesville, Pennsylvania. We take a look at round one of Unlimited Tuff Truck Racing in the stock class. You saw Ed Dinkoon and Doug Paus before the break. Rachel Faust will take on Harold Schaefer. That's party time in the Bronco Buster. You see Kevin Faust drew a bye run out of the blind draw. We have a couple of those. Joey Bates Sr., one of the wildest guys in this sport, taking on Joy Fry, Miss Psycho. And it's Brad Mertz in the machine called Buck Naked, taking on Mr. Big Bucks. That's Mike Andrus, one of the roughest looking trucks in the field. And Brandon Barnes and Jay Fry, both in the blind draw, got themselves some bye runs, so they will automatically move on to the winner's bracket. And Eric Sponenberg, a name we haven't seen in Tuff Truck Racing in quite some time, part of the Sponenberg family of Brett Sponenberg and, of course, the late, great Super Bob taking on Bill Hess. Here in round number one, there you see Harold Schaefer, the GMC Bronco Buster. From right down the road, another guy out of the Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania area. Neighbors with Doug Paus. He's going to go up against Rachel Faust, a wild Rachel Faust in party time now. She's definitely put a hurting on this machine since she's been in. Had a couple races under her belt. Has done very well at the wheel of this truck. She could definitely put a hurting on Harold Schaefer, but Schaefer is not going to go down without a fight. Our second pairing of round number one about to get underway here in Hughesville. Faust with the lead coming out. See a lot of bounce in the front end as she works her way up onto that elevated grassy area, and you can see they actually fenced it off there to give them a place to kind of get back and forth. Really a driver's track at that point. You see Harold Schaefer almost getting into Rachel Faust up there on the top end of that S-curve. Still pretty close. Schaefer's hanging in there, but again, coming back on that inside lane, he washes out. And Rachel Faust moving on into our winner's bracket. Harold will be back, though you have to lose twice to be knocked out of this one, and that's from top to bottom. A lot of racing to get through here tonight. Bronco Buster moving on to the loser bracket. As we get ready with our next run down the track, it's going to be Kevin Faust and this beautiful bullnose Bronco. These are some of the most fun trucks to watch on these tough truck courses. We've seen a few of these guys over the years. Brad Talbot, of course, famously in the Bustin' Loose Bronco, and all these bullnose machines, but these trucks take a beating. And you can see Faust laying into the throttle right now. And with a bye run, he doesn't have to be fast, but he is not one to lay down. He is definitely going to test this truck and this track. Hopefully he can burn a little more of that mud off as he comes back down. He'll have the outside lane on the way back through, I believe. Staying after it. A nice launch right there. Kevin Faust. That big black Bronco laying down a shot. Crowd looking on here in Hughesville. Great crowd on hand for Mountain Creek Truck Fest and Unlimited Tuff Truck Racing. Now, one of the hardest runners in this sport, part of a two-generation team, Joey Bates to the left of your screen in the right lane. He's going to take on Joy Fry. That's Miss Psycho. And Bates is out on her quick. Both of them look like they might be trying to save the trucks for the run back down. Again, a lot of racing to get through here tonight. You don't want to waste your machine in the first round, especially since you're not technically out of the bracket losing once. You can work your way back in. You can even make it to the finals if you lose in the first round. As long as you don't go out again, you have a shot at it. We'll see where these guys end up, though, as Bates leads Joy Fry out of the S-curve, or that figure eight section. Making a nice smooth run right here, though. Bates not really attacking the track the way he normally would, but laid down a nice run. Joy Fry on the way back. A nice hit right there, and she got after it. Coming back down the home stretch, Joey Bates Sr. going to move on into the winner's bracket. We'll see who he lines up against. Mike Andrus now on his way to the starting line. I told you it was a rough-looking truck at Mr. Big Bucks. We have seen this guy do some really amazing things with this truck over the years. So he takes on one Brad Mertz, and buck naked, you see Brad carrying the cape off the back of that truck. That's something many guys are doing here this weekend, a tribute to the late, great Super Bob Sponenberg, and these guys love Super Bob. This race is a bit of a tribute to him here at the foot of the Pocono Mountains as two big, bad Grand Cherokees go at it. Brad Mertz with the lead right now. Can he hang in there? He's got a problem. He spins out. He's going to have to go all the way around that tire. Mike Andrews taking full advantage of it. I'll tell you what, he probably had the best return to the front stretch on that inside lane that anyone's had so far. Brad Mertz now going to finish up his run. Buck naked, moving on to that loser bracket. Mike Andrus, kind of a surprise considering where Mertz was, but he overdrove the grass section. Andrus took full advantage of it. As little track grooming going on. We're going to show you some highlights from some early round action. A couple of our singles. Brandon Barnes, the killer clown. Another guy's not afraid to put some hurt on the equipment. Also wearing the cape this weekend for Super Bob. And he got after this little XJ pretty hard. We've seen him get some big hang time over the years, and he's one that often will develop a little rivalry with Mike Andrus. He'll move on into the winner's bracket after drawing a bye. So will this machine, Jay Fry, the other half of the Fry team. This machine, affectionately called Jay's PP. Another guy who's really not afraid to get out, but you can see how far into that corner he slid, still hoping that this track dries out. Remember, they're going to be running mods in between the stock class here this weekend. We'll be bringing you that action next time here at Back Channel Productions. Jay Fry laying down a good run in Jay's PP as we get ready for a little more action here on the front stretch. Tim Howard keeping the crowd into it. Next pair lining up, the second generation legendary team on the other side there. That is blazing on a budget. The Blue Bronco being driven by Eric Sponenberg. And there's a little story behind that machine. Tim Howard caught up with Eric earlier.
It's been a few years, man. I heard you came up out of retirement. You got the old freaking truck back even. How does it feel?
We're going to find out tonight.
First time back actually racing?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I'm very excited for you, man.
Thank you. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I mean, you got to be, like,
oh, yeah.
really, the butterflies going, everything good. It should be, man.
Yes.
Every time I raced, when I get in the truck and put the helmet on, I'd have to pee. So I understand what happens when, especially, it's been how many years?
About 5.5 years.
5.5? You probably got the days and hours down, too. Did you miss it?
I did.
I know, I miss it every day.
Came up for sale. I knew I needed it back, so made it happen, and here we are.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, good luck tonight, and I'll come see you in the podium.
Cool.
All right?
I hope so.
Thank you.
Quite a few people glad to see Eric back out here running. He's paired up with Bill Hess and All In. Of course, you saw that truck blazing on a budget. The Blue Bronco used to be called Dirt Poor. Also carrying the cape for Super Bob Sponenberg. And we'll see Brett Sponenberg later on next time in the modified class. Right now, Bill Hess leading Eric Sponenberg through the back section of the course. Can guarantee you Sponenberg is going to get faster as this night goes on. Right now, this is his first run. If you couldn't tell from that interview, he was quite a bit nervous coming into this thing. Again, first run back in a tough truck in quite some time. Still getting it, getting his feet back underneath him. Bill Hess not having to go too hard and all in. We've seen Bill air some trucks out over the years. He's definitely not afraid to do it. But Eric Sponenberg laying down a nice run. He'll come back in the loser bracket. Great to see him back. Of course, Bill Hess laying down a good run himself, and he'll move on into our winner's bracket in All In. Got plenty more action coming up. Don't go anywhere. Unlimited Tuff Trucks. More door-to-door action when we come back to Hughesville. in Hughesville, Pennsylvania at the Lycoming County Fairgrounds Mountain Creek Truck Fest, presenting Unlimited Tuff Truck Racing, the stock class here tonight. This is our winner's bracket. 8 machines, 4 pairs, ready to go. Ed Dinkoon will take on Rachel Faust. That should be an awesome matchup. Just to start things off, it'll be Kevin Faust against Joey Bates, 2 of the hardest runners in the game, going at it in the first round of our winner's bracket. Brandon Barnes and Mike Andrus, I said they could develop a rivalry. They're going to match up here in the winner's bracket. One of them is going to hurt the other's chances real quick. And then Jay Fry, Jay's PP, taking on Bill Hess, and all in 2 different generations of Grand Cherokee to wrap up the first round of our winner's bracket. Then, first round of our loser's bracket, you can see we have 3 singles in that one. Doug Paust and Harold Schaefer will go at it first. That'll be our only pair in the loser's bracket. Doug and Harold trying to make sure that one of them doesn't go on the trailer. So that should be a good race because one of those guys will be out after this round of racing. We'll wait and see. Joy Fry, Brad Merchant, Eric Sponenberg all drawing a single in the first round of the loser's bracket. Now, first round of our winner's bracket, Ed Dinkoon in Mean Green, the Magnum-powered Dodge to the right of your screen. He's in the left lane taking on Rachel Faust in Party Time. Ed, that suspension work he did to his truck, right now probably the favorite to win. He's landing real smooth. Rachel's getting a lot of bounce in the front end of her truck. We'll have to see if that negatively affects her. They take off together, a lead for Ed right now, but remember they change lanes on the way back, and Faust is getting rocked and rolled through that first full turn as she bounces around quite a bit. Ed Dinkoon now out in the back section, way out in front. She's starting to gain on him a little bit, but that grass is still slick as they're starting to dig it up. They'll get down into that loam. They're getting through there quicker, though, than they did in the first round. Ed Dinkoon taking a big lead, and if he can keep it legal, he will pick up another victory and move on in to the second round in this winner's bracket. Rachel Faust, again, with all that bouncing, not able to hang in there quite with Dinkoon. We get another look at it, and you can see how hard they're running down through this front stretch. Plenty of hang time on the track. You can see Ed sticking to the ground. Rachel trying to work to keep that front end down. Every time she gets on the throttle, kicking the front end back up. Man, that thing is, it's like a mechanical basketball as she works her way through that turn. And Kevin Faust now on the starting line. He's going to take on Joey Bates Sr., who rolls up right there in the machine called Showtime. We'll see what see which of these guys ends up on the top of this thing. I guarantee you this is not going to be easy going. They both come off the line hard. Bates getting into Faust's passenger side door. He just put a big old dent in the right side of that Bronco. And there you see again getting into him, got into the right front corner. May get a rough driving penalty right there. Faust falling back. Bates out front, flying toward the finish line. Faust not laying off of it, but I can guarantee you the man in the black Bronco is not happy. Right now, Joey Bates laying into Kevin Faust. We're going to take another look at it. You can see again how hard these guys come down this front stretch. Watch Faust in the cockpit, by the way. Not getting bounced around that bad. That thing is landing so well, and you can see he had the inside line, made the most of it. Joey Bates getting into him right there. And we're not hearing that he's going to get a penalty on the run, but you can see the damage he did. And then right here, again, just knocks Faust out of the way. Joey Bates doing a little damage to his own driver's side door there in the Showtime XJ as he headed back down the front stretch with Faust in tow. Again, neither one of them letting off. Kevin Faust taking a wild ride back as our next pair lines up. Third pairing of the first round of our winner's bracket. On the right side of your screen, Brandon Barnes, the Killer Clown, the XJ, taking on the Grand Cherokee, Mike Andrus, Mr. Big Bucks, who's got the right lane, left side of your screen now, the outside line going into the first turn, and he worked his way right around the front of Brandon Barnes. Can he hang on in there? Looking good, maybe a little slow coming out, but does not lose anything as he now will run the inside line back down the front stretch. Mike Andrus hanging on in the winner's bracket. Mr. Big Bucks, Killer Clown, going to the loser bracket now. Not what he was hoping for. Bill Hess now rolling up in All In. He will take on Jay's PP. That's Jay Fry. Part of that husband and wife team. Pair of Grand Cherokees on the line right now. Bill Hess in the right lane. Left of your screen, that blue roll cage, Bill Hess. Jay's PP gaining a little bit on Hess right now. The more stock looking of these two machines. Hanging out in front. Hess trying to get in on him as he has some trouble. I think they scrubbed a little paint right there. Jay Fry holding him off. He'll have the outside line if he can keep the traction. He may get to the end first. Hess gonna try to make up some time on him. Not gonna happen. Jay Fry staying in the winner's bracket. All In. Bill Hess will go to the loser's bracket. And that will wrap up the first round of our winner's bracket. Now to the first pairing of the loser's bracket. Harold Schaefer in the right-hand lane. The GMC, the multicolored GMC that is the Bronco Buster. Going side by side with one of his own neighbors. That's Doug Faust in the Solo Cup Grand Cherokee out of Millville, Pennsylvania. Doug had a tough draw in round number 1 with Ed Dinkun. That was anybody's ball game. And you see some dust starting to show from underneath this wet dirt. That's a good sign. This track is going to get faster and faster as the night goes on. Faust looking great. A problem for Harold Schaefer. It's all Doug Faust. Schaefer has shut down. Something going away in the Bronco Buster. Doug Faust on a free pass. He's probably not going to kill the truck. Very wisely backs out of it. He's going to save the truck for the next round, as he was the only man who actually had to pair off with another truck in this loser's bracket. So he basically got himself another single. Very unfortunate turn of events for Harold Schaefer. As things continue on. We're not done yet, though. More coming up. The Stock Tough Trucks. Welcome back to Hughesville, Pennsylvania, the Lycoming County Fairgrounds, as Mountain Creek Truck Fest presents Unlimited Tuff Truck Racing. The stock class, there you see Harold Schaefer unfortunately being towed off the track. His breakdown made it a single for Doug Faust. The only pairing of the loser's bracket in round number 1. Here you see the semifinal round matchups for our winner's bracket. Ed Dinkun against Joey Bates Sr. So it'll be a Dodge Ram versus an XJ, and then a pair of Grand Cherokees to close that round out. Mike Andrus and Jay Fry. On to the loser's bracket. 4 pairs still alive. Doug Faust will take on Rachel Faust. That should be an awesome matchup. It'll be Joy Fry against Kevin Faust. Brad Mertz against Brandon Barnes. Another matchup slated to be a good one. And then Eric Sponenberg taking on Bill Hess. That one's anybody's guess. Right now, Bill working out the bugs in a new vehicle, and Eric Sponenberg back at it for the first time in years. Right now, the first pairing of the semifinals of our winner's bracket, the bright green Ram out of Brant, New York. That is Ed Dinkun taking on one of the Keystone Killers, Joey Bates Sr. in a machine called Showtime. It's the XJ with the headlights. Joey got real aggressive in the first round of the winner's bracket. He's doing it again. He's moving in on Ed. They're rubbing doors. Door handle to door handle. Literally, look at Bates holding him out there, taking out the fence. Dinko trying to figure out why his truck wouldn't go to the right. There, Bates gets in on him again, does some damage to both trucks. Flying to the finish line. Bates really doing a lot of damage to the front end of that Jeep, and I don't know that he is going to be handed that win. Made it to the finish line first, but he may be looking at a penalty right now. The line judge is taking another look at it because he pushed Dinkoon right through the fence. We are waiting on word as to how this is going to go. Another look at it. You can see they're both running hard. Dinkoon took full advantage of the inside lane. But look, Bates trying to get around on him. Door handle to door handle. And look, Bates pushing him right out toward the fence. That by itself probably is not going to get him a penalty, but this coming up here in a second, right there is what they're going to likely, we're waiting on word still. And yes, they are going to call a penalty on Joey Bates. Ed Dinkoon moves on in mean green. Joey Bates hammering on him right there. You saw how much damage he did to his own truck. And you have to think Ed's probably not real happy about all those dents that Joey put in the side of that beautiful green Ram. Now, pair of Grand Cherokees, one looking a lot worse than the other. He's not worried about anybody getting into him. That's Mike Andrus and Mr. Big Bucks. That thing's been through hell as he goes up against Jay Fry and Jay's PP. They're both working this track. Andrus really hanging it all out right now in that wadded up looking Cherokee Colt Mr. Big Bucks. Jay Fry hanging right in there with him. Not able to take advantage of that inside line. The truck was washing out on him. He just ripped the grill and the headlight assembly apart. First loss of the night. He's still got a shot to come back, but the Jay's PP machine looking a little worse for wear. Watch it again. Watch the front end. Tearing up some parts right there. I'll tell you what. I think the grill might be the least of his concern. Watch the toe out on the front end after this landing. And it looked like he might have been having some steering problems at that point. I think he may have hurt some suspension parts on that run. May not be back. He could still get in the loser's bracket. It'll be interesting to see if he can make a run. Now, this should be an awesome matchup. The first of our loser's bracket, Rachel Faust in the right-hand lane going up against the bright red Jeep out of Millville, Pennsylvania. That's Doug Faust. And Faust was late getting off the line. Look at Faust still bouncing around as she makes her way through the corner. Doug Faust taking a lead, taking advantage of the problems that Faust had getting into the turn. She's trying to come back on him right here. He's slipping and sliding. The Jeep pushing out in the corners. I think he may have lost the front diff. Faust trying to work her way around. Doug Faust just way too far out in front at this point. He'll pick up a win, and look at Rachel Faust flying through no man's land in between the two jumps. On the front stretch, we're going to get another look at this run. This was a wild one. Watch it. Rachel Faust out on Faust at the beginning of the run. He catches up to her right here. She could have potentially gotten in front of him, but she could not get that Jeep on the ground. Party time, bouncing her around. And then another look at this. Watch the flight on the way back. She's out of it for the night. That's her second loss of the evening. So Rachel Faust going off the track in style. We told you at the beginning of the program she was going to be wild, and she was. Now, Kevin Faust, not real happy to be in this loser's bracket right now. You can see the damage on the right front corner of that bullnose Bronco, and when he makes his turn here in just a second, you'll see again the damage that Joey Bates did to his passenger side door. He felt like there should have been a penalty assessed. Now there was, of course, as you just saw when Ed Dinkoon tangled up with Joey, but right now Kevin Faust trying to make short work of Joy Fry, but she's hanging in there with him. Starting to spread the gap though on her. The big Ford making the final turn back onto the front stretch with the inside line. Big flight for Kevin Faust. looking good as he comes across the finish line, and Joy Fry will be out of it for the evening. Miss Psycho not coming back. Kevin Faust remains in the loser's bracket. Get another look at the run he took on the way back. He had some nice hang time, man. This thing is so much fun to watch. I told you, these big, bad, bullnosed Broncos always put on a show, and he definitely did right there as he kicks the cone out to the left. No harm, no foul. You don't get into your opponent. There was no opponent over there for him to get into. Now, Brad Mertz taking on Brandon Barnes. This should be a solid pairing right here. Right lane, the XJ left lane, the Grand Cherokee that is buck naked. Both of them flying the capes in tribute to Super Bob. And it looked like Mertz, who was having trouble, actually yielded the turn to Brandon Barnes to avoid contact. And now Barnes having trouble keeping it tight in the corner. Both of them slipping and sliding out there. There is a lot of moisture in the air, and the grass is not quite drying out. If you can't tell, buck naked though, falling back, the killer clown. They'll move right on into the semifinal round of this loser's bracket as the capes flutter in the breeze. Unfortunately for Brad Mertz, that'll be the end of his evening here in buck naked as we get ready for our next pairing here in the quarterfinal round of our loser's bracket. You see Bill Hess, he's awaiting Eric Sponenberg to pull up on the line in Blazing on a Budget. Sponenberg has yet to fire, so an apparent problem on that Bronco out of Pennsylvania, the Bloomsburg-based machine, part of a multi-generation team, a legendary team in tough truck racing, and unfortunately he will not make the call. Bill Hess is going to get a single off of Eric Sponenberg right now. Not the way Hess wanted to get through this round, but you got to take a win any way you can get it. All he has to do is make a legal run. You can even pick up a penalty technically, but as long as he makes a legal run in terms of crossing the start-finish line, he will technically pick up a victory in this loser's bracket and move on to the semifinal round of the loser's bracket. You see another member of the Faust Racing camp. One of the Keystone Killers right there. That is Bill Hess, a guy we've definitely seen fly, although he's not flying right now. He'll have a pairing coming up in the semifinals, I guarantee you. He's going to lay in that throttle. Stay with us. The Jalopies fly when we come back to Hughesville. The spacious and legendary Lycoming County Fairgrounds in Hughesville, Pennsylvania, at the foot of the Pocono Mountains. Mountain Creek Truck Fest presents Unlimited Tuff Truck Racing, and there you see the final pairing in our winner's bracket. Ed Dinkoon, Mean Green, going up against Mike Andrus. One of those two will seed into the championship race. Then quarterfinal round action in our loser's bracket. Doug Faust and Joey Bates Sr. Those are two hard chargers. Joey Bates has put a hurting on a lot of guys here tonight. We'll see what he does up against Doug Faust. And it's Jay Fry taking on Kevin Faust. Kevin was one of the guys that Joey got into. And Bill Hess taking on Brandon Barnes. Of course, Bill had a single in the last round when Eric Sponenberg failed to make the call down. The final round of our winner's bracket. One of these two will drop into the loser's bracket and have to try to fight his way back in. The other will go automatically to the championship race. We'll get to watch a few more runs before he has to come back to the line. It'll either be Ed Dinkoon and Mean Green, who's dropping back right now, or Mike Andrus, that roughed up looking Grand Cherokee, who takes the lead into the back section. And he spins out Ed Dinkoon with the lead. Can he hang on to it? Andrus has locked up Ed Dinkoon on a free pass. Mean Green coming down the final straight. You see Ed turn around and look to see where Andrus is. And Mike Andrus with problems, although we're hearing that Ed got a penalty on that run. I'm not sure for what. Didn't look like either one of them got into the other, so I'm not sure why there's an apparent penalty on that run. But Dinkoon, in spite of being the only truck of the pair to finish the course, will drop into the loser's bracket. Andrus will go on to the championship race, so I'm not sure what happened there. Dinkoon is going to have to fight his way through the loser's bracket now. In the meantime, the first pairing of the quarterfinal round of the loser's bracket, Doug Faust and Joey Bates. And Faust getting off the starting line in a hurry, trying to get away from Joey Bates. Both of them bogging down a little bit on the top end of that back section, and problems for Joey Bates, and I think he may have caused himself some trouble here getting into all those trucks earlier on that Showtime. XJ does not appear to be running right. Look at Doug Faust putting on a charge, coming back up the top end of the track as Faust will move on into the semifinal round of the loser's bracket. Joey Bates will go on the trailer. I think a few guys may be happy about that here tonight. That's one of them right there, Kevin Faust. Big Black Bronco taking on Jay Fry, Jay's PP. Well, Kevin Faust took a licking here tonight. He would love to get himself into the championship after all the hard racing he's had. Putting both of these vehicles going hard right now. Jay's PP, of course, the one that left the front end all over the track earlier. He just avoided getting into the rear quarter panel of Kevin Faust's Bronco. Faust now way out by the fence. There is dew settling on top of the grass, on top of the mud, so they're actually losing traction out there, and they're really having to make this front stretch work for him. Right here, Kevin Faust putting a charge on the way back down toward the finish line. Two nice jumps, and Jay Fry is all over the track. He's out of it for the evening as we take another look at this run. Watch Kevin Faust go flying toward the finish line. Getting knocked around the cab a little bit, but really doesn't seem to be hurting him too much at all. Takes a nice ride there in the Bronco. Now, Bill Hess against Brandon Barnes, our final pairing of this quarterfinal round in the loser's bracket. Killer Clown and All In. Bill Hess and All In, a little trouble off the start. Brandon Barnes trying to hang in there. Bill Hess trying to come up behind. Getting in the mix with him. Trading a little paint going around the tires. Bill Hess trying to work to the inside. Not gonna do it. He lost a ton of momentum trying to get around Brandon Barnes, and Barnes will head into the semifinal round of the loser's bracket. Both of them get some nice hang time coming back toward the finish line. Unfortunately, though, All In, Bill Hess will go on the trailer as we look at our semifinal round in the loser's bracket. There you see Mike Andrus already seated into that championship race. As I said, Ed Dinkoon unfortunately picked up a penalty in his matchup with Andrus. I'm not sure why, but Dinkoon will match up with Kevin Faust. That should be a solid race. And Doug Faust and Brandon Barnes, two awesome pairings here in our semifinal round of the loser's bracket here at Hughesville. As we get ready for that first pairing here in the semifinal round of loser bracket, Brandon Barnes, Killer Clown, going up against Doug Faust in Solo Cup. They wait on the light. Off the line together, maybe a little edge to Barnes. He has the outside way around. Can he cut in front of Doug? No. Doug Faust leading him into the grass. Dragging Barnes around like a trailer as Doug Faust spreads the gap, coming back toward the front stretch. Another big leap right there, and apparently the front end is going away on Solo Cup and a flat tire here on Killer Clown. A lot of smoke out from under that machine as well. These guys are running a marathon here tonight as Ed Dinkoon makes his way to the line, waiting on his competition. Supposed to be Kevin Faust in the black Bronco out of Pennsylvania. The New York-based Dodge waiting patiently for Faust to make the call, and Faust will not make the call. Dinkoon's off. So Ed will move on into the final round of our losers bracket, ironically enough against the truck that he took out in round number 1 before we even paired these guys off into their own brackets. So Dinkoon may yet have a shot at the big money here tonight as he very wisely, kind of conservatively works his way around the track, just feeling it out, trying to find the wet spots, not overdriving it on the way back down. Dinkoon will have to turn around though and come immediately back to the starting line. So you can see that one headlight coming back down this way. That's Doug Faust in Solo Cup. Dinkoon just getting a quick check over the green Dodge as Doug Faust talks to our staging coordinator and starter, Doug. Waiting there as Ed pulls up on his right-hand side. This is going to be a good one. These two battled in round number 1, opposite lanes. Both of them lurching right there. Didn't have their foot on the brake as they wait on the light. Faust, though, out on Dinkoon. They didn't even back him back on the line to stage. They just gave him green and let him go. Dinkoon trying to cut off Faust. Side by side into the S-curves. Dinkoon avoiding contact, back out of the throttle, and that may have been all Doug Faust needed to stretch that lead out, because right now, Solo Cup is all on his own as Dinkoon tries to fight back into it. Not going to happen. Take nothing away from Mean Green. Ed Dinkoon not able to beat Doug Faust twice. Doug knocking out Ed, the man who beat him in the first pairing of the night, and that means that Faust will go on to battle his teammate and a guy who runs out of the same shop, Mike Andrus and Mr. Big Bucks, who got kind of lucky in his last run with Ed Dinkoon. Maybe a controversial penalty, but that's the way the chips fell. But what this means is Mike Andrus, who is not technically lost tonight, will battle Doug Faust, who has 1 loss on his record in this bracket, meaning if Doug wins the pairing, they'll actually have to run the final round twice. Because Andrus has yet to lose, Doug would have to win twice to win the event. If Andrus wins, it's an automatic victory. He gets the championship. He hasn't lost at all. So we'll wait and see. Both of these machines beaten and battered, and the word we get is that Faust really has no front end left in this thing. It's going in and out. This truck is not happy right now, and you can see him lurching a bit off the line. He's actually out on Mike Andrus right now, and Mr. Big Bucks breaking up. Something terrible. That truck now coming to a halt at the top of the ramp that takes you up onto that grass pad. The top end right now is all Doug Faust as he works his way through that wet grass. Solo Cup on a solo pass here in the championship round. Not the way Doug wanted to come back down to the finish line, but he may have to run again. Doug Faust in Solo Cup picking up the first of 2 wins he is going to have to get to take the championship. That's if Mike Andrus can refire Mr. Big Bucks. He has tried to start it a couple times, but right now he's still sitting on that ramp. And he just threw the arm up. Your champion tonight, that man right there on his way back down, Doug Faust in Solo Cup. He is standing by with Tim Howard.
Holy cow. You fought your way through a huge field of stock trucks in a double elimination brackets, which I was lost in. But you all the way through and won it. On your birthday, man. You couldn't ask for much more. How you feeling?
About to go in the garage. Now I got that broke stuff to fix, so.
That's all right, man. That's why we do what we do.
Right? It was a good track. I had a lot of good fun here. Look, these guys are great guys out here. It's just a great event. I can't wait to come back next year. It was phenomenal. So we'll get her fixed up and get her ready for next weekend.
The crowd fell in love with you, man. They gave you the Hard Charger Award for the night, pretty much unanimously. So I really want to congratulate you, man, for an awesome night of racing. And again, happy birthday, man.
Thank
Are you
you.
gonna? I was going to get you a cake, but the hell with that. You won.
Right? And this is my second win in a row now.
Really?
I raced for 4 years, never won. And I won 2 back-to-back.
Hey, this might be your year, man.
Hey, I put a lot of time, a lot of hard work goes in them every night long. Guys don't see that. A lot of sleepless nights to get them out here. So
Yeah.
I hope the crowd enjoyed it, and I'll run it to the ground every time.
All right, they sure did, man. And again, congratulations,
Have a
Doug.
good one, Doug.
Take care. Yep.
A huge congratulations to Doug Faust in Solo Cup, picking up a victory, as he said, his second in a row. He's had a good couple weeks here, and there you see the first launch of the evening. He lost that race, came back to beat the man in that green Dodge. What a night of racing here with the stock class, and we are not done from here in Hughesville, Pennsylvania. The Modifieds, part of the Mountain Creek Truck Fest, Unlimited Tuff Truck Racing, will be coming at you next time. The fastest of the fleet, the big horsepower of the Modifieds, coming at you next time here with Back Channel Productions. Thanks for joining us here at the Lycoming County Fairgrounds. We will see you next time.